Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I'm so glad to be able to be speaking about the connection between making conscious choices and the way forward for a holistic future. And consciousness is something that we all need. We all need to think about exactly what we're doing every step of the way. Right now, during this whole coronavirus time, we are collectively sharing an experience that never before has happened in the world, or at least never before to our knowledge. The whole world globally being so connected and going through something together, the good, the bad, the difficult, or the all the wonderful things that is also bringing it has brought into people's life. We're going through this together, and it is a call from the universe for us to really self reflect and look into our lives. So it's a lesson that has been brought to us, so that we can sit and contemplate on what it is we're doing to what caused this, what did we do to cause all of this, and what can we do to ensure that we have learned from this experience and we're moving forward towards a much more positive, beautiful, loving future. I was so glad to know that Mr. Rajan, the speaker before me, spoke about the importance of a plant-based diet, about choosing not to exploit, not to harm animals. Now, in a lot of spirituality, in a lot of spiritual practices, vegetarianism is recommended because there are so many levels to it. One, on a very, very basic level, if you put something that comes from pain and suffering into your body, how will you increase your vibrations? How will you go on to a higher spiritual plane? So that is why vegetarianism is often recommended. But then, always something that is missed out is the impact of other animal based foods and products, like dairy, like eggs. Dairy is, as a vegan, over the years, one thing I have seen is that dairy is even more cruel than meat, because when it comes to meat, the animal, he or she is killed. Whereas when it comes to dairy, the mother cow, she is impregnated again and again so that she can keep producing milk again and again for her babies. But then we make her give birth to the babies and then take the milk away for human consumption. And something that originates from that kind of pain and suffering is definitely not meant for us, meant for people, especially on the spiritual path. And those of us, and I believe that the whole world needs to get onto this path, into a path of love, compassion, and moving forward. So my topic today is about conscious choices. Yeah, conscious is an important word, but an even more key word in this is choices. The word choice, the reason for this, a lot of people don't realize that we actually get to choose every step of the way. Everything we choose in our life, every decision we make in our life, everything that we put, from the smallest to the biggest, whether it is what food you put into a body, to what products that you buy, or what job that you do, or what words you speak to somebody who is opposite to you, each and everything is a choice. And we don't even realize the power we have with this ability to make choices. This is something that has been given to us, and it has immense potential when we harness it to continuously, consciously, every second of every day, choose to use this power for good things, some things which are beneficial not just to yourself but also to the world in general. When I turned vegan in 2003, which was really many, many years ago, I was always brought up as a vegetarian. I'd grown up in a vegetarian family, and I would eat eggs if they were hidden in cake, but I'd never actually have eggs. And I was a vegetarian not because of any choice or any conscious decision, simply because my family was vegetarian. I was vegetarian. I used to love dairy products. I used to love milk products a lot, whether it is milk, curds, ice creams, cheese, cake, all these, butter, all these things. But then when I heard about this whole concept of being vegan, being completely plant based, I was just surprised when a friend of mine had turned vegan and he said that, okay, I'm not going to have any dairy products anymore and it hurts the cows. I'm like, what is this craziness that he's speaking about? It didn't make any sense at all because, I mean, curd, imagine, how can you live without curd? That was the first thought that came into my mind. And I resisted, though there was this message coming to me into my life from the universe to know more about this. I resisted it a lot. For a long time I resisted it, but then over time, you know, there was a message again and again. There was this insistence that I had to know more about this. I had to know more about why it is that people believe that cows are hurt when people consume dairy. And then I started looking into it. And when I looked into it, I realized the whole process of where milk comes from and how we get it across to us and all the things that happen during the process of it. And then I'm like, oh my God, my taste buds don't matter. When it comes to seeing this kind of cruelty, I will never support it again. And that is how I turned vegan. Initially, even I thought I didn't have a choice. I thought that I can't live without curds. I can't live without milk. I can't live without cake, whatever it is. I thought I had no choice. But the moment I realized that I did actually have a choice and I could choose to stop having all these products, I felt this immense power inside me. Like, oh yeah, I don't need any of these. I can just stop using them. I can stop using anything that comes from animals, anything that comes from cruelty. I ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where you just know inside that this moment, this decision that you're making in this moment is just going to change the course of your entire life? There's this beautiful energy, this your whole vibration just expands, and there's this beautiful feeling similar to hope and some kind of an excitement, like something great is going to happen. I felt that day, that moment when I was sitting there and thinking, okay, now I'm going to go vegan. I felt that energy inside me, and I was like, okay, in that moment, I didn't realize what it was I was feeling. I just felt good, and that's about it. But over the years, after making that change in my life, over the years, my veganism has infused every aspect of my life. Today, everything I am, everything I do, somehow, me making that decision back in 2003, that decision's impact, that choice's impact is there on everything that I do today, everything that I practice, the way that I live. Being vegan infused into my spiritual practice. So I got into spirituality when I was pretty young. Throughout my life, while growing up, somehow I knew there was something bigger. There is a bigger power looking out for us, the angels, universe. I didn't know what to call them, but I knew there was something bigger than what we see in terms of what science or religion or any of the normal stuff makes us believe. Somewhere inside, I knew it. In the late 90s, one of my teachers at school had learned Reiki was very new to India at that time, and she had learned Reiki, and she came and told us about it, and she said that I'm a Reiki teacher now, and if anybody wants to learn, you can learn it. And immediately at that moment, like, none of my friends went to the class and learned it from her, but somehow I was called to do it. I immediately went and I'm like, okay, I want to learn this from you. So that started off my actual path onto a spiritual, conscious, energy work, light work kind of life in that direction. I would practice Reiki, I would practice meditation, and then, yeah, many years went by. I realized that after I turned vegan in 2003, there was a huge difference in the way that I could connect to the higher energies. The way I could, if I sat down to meditate, the way I could easily get into that vibe of meditating. Or when I practiced Reiki, the energy that I felt coming in much faster and quicker in a more smooth way after I turned vegan. And I didn't relate this whole thing. It was an observation slowly that dawned on me. I'm like, oh yeah, this, having stopped all animal products, all products that come from exploitation and cruelty from my life, I'm seeing that, oh, my energy, my vibes have gone higher and I'm able to connect better to the universal energy. And that felt very, very beautiful. So that got me thinking about what else could I choose that I wasn't choosing to do. Though veganism is a foundation for all the conscious choices I make, I believe that triggered me to make conscious choices through many other aspects of life. I became little bit more aware of the environment and how to be more responsible with my choices. I became aware also about people, about diversity, about the kind of different people that are there in the world, the kind of life that they lead. And slowly over the years, I've learned to be non-judgmental, like to not look at someone and see their choice, and just because it doesn't match certain social norms, just shun them immediately, which I used to do before. But I believe that questioning this thing, the veganism made me question. Like, all my life I believed milk, I believed dairy was good for you, it's healthy for you, it's part of our culture, so it's comfort food. This is how I've grown up. And then when I shunned that, when I realized that no, it isn't all that it is, it is advertised to be by our families, by the media, by anybody, I started wondering, okay, what else is there? What are the different societal norms, different conditionings that we have, that I just took for granted and accepted just because someone told me, someone who's older than me, somebody who I respected, whoever it is, or the media or the world in general, just because they told me that it's good for you, I was just accepting it. And that really helped me through the whole process of conscious living. And I believe it's a journey. There is still so much more to learn and so many more ways in which I can be conscious. But I just have to be open to it. And I feel that all of you who are on this path, like, there are no coincidences. Today, we have found each other because we are meant to be, influencing each other. You are meant to be listening to what it is I'm saying, and maybe later you'd be connecting with me for whatever reasons. There are no coincidences. The universe has brought us here today, and you're listening to this because you also are on a conscious path. You also are looking for ways to spread more love and joy and positive energy and compassion into the world. And this is one of the ways. Going vegan, looking into it more, being plant-based, this is one of the ways in which you can keep going forward on this path that you're on right now. I'm from the food industry, so I run a vegan restaurant, and I have met all kinds of very, very interesting people with different kind of food preferences, food choices, and everything. And it really has made me realize that especially like vegan food is considered to be in the health food sector, and it's made me realize how complicated all of us make our own lives. So people come in and they're like, the first, it always makes me laugh when somebody looks at a plate of food and they're like, how many calories are in there? I'm like, calories, come on, stop obsessing about calories. What is more important? What is more important is, where exactly did that food come from? What exactly is the energy in it? Focus on that. Don't look at calories, macros, micros. Don't obsess so much on that. Okay, it's good to have knowledge, but not like, oh my god, I have to have only these many calories today, so I'm going to restrict to it, and so I can't have this, and then put that energy of guilt into whatever you're eating or not eating. Instead, we can make life so much more simple by being mindful in every step that we take, every choice that we make, being present in that moment. So forget about whatever has happened so far in your life. Right now, in this moment, you have the opportunity to embrace this mindful, conscious way of living when it comes particularly to the food that you eat, because food is a very important energy that we're putting into our body every single day. Whenever you sit down to eat, this is what I just request you to do. Just something simple to try, how you can become more mindful and make conscious choices with your food. Pick up a piece of whatever food you're about to eat, whether it is a fruit, whether it is, cooked food like chapati or roti or salad, rice, sambar rice, idli, whatever it is. Just pick up your food, spend a moment or a few moments contemplating on where that food came from. Think about the journey of the ingredients before it became your food, from the plant, from the tree, from the farm, from wherever it is, how it would have been just cultivated, how it would have been harvested and then transported and then cooked and then served to you. There are so many steps from where the food originates to where it comes finally into your plate. All you need to do is that. All you need to do is sit and think of where it came from and what has gone into it and the process through which it has gone through. That itself is going to easily help you make the conscious choice. Now imagine if, oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. There's a glitch in the internet. Yeah. So now imagine just sitting down and taking a cup of, say, coconut milk. Picture how it would have come to you. It would have gone, somebody would have, planted, and those trees many years ago, the tree would have grown. Someone would have climbed up the tree and finally got the coconut down. And then it would have been processed and all those things dried and then sent to you. And then you break the coconut and then grate it, or somebody in your house or somebody at a restaurant, wherever it is, has the coconut has been grated and then ground and the water has been added and the milk has been extracted and then it has been served to you, right? That's a journey of coconut milk. Now when you put this into your coffee, if you put this into your payasam or make curds out of it, what is the energy that has gone into this, right? It's, for the most part, it's an energy of love. It's an energy of positivity that has gone into this. Now picture the same thing happening with the cup of cow's milk or buffalo milk, any animal milk in front of you. Would you actually sit and contemplate on its journey? Would you be able to bring yourself to do that? That is a question, right? Because when you think about it, where did that milk come from, right? It could be a cow in a dairy farm, or it could be from a cow who is at home with a small family, brought up in a very loving way, even if you say it is loving. But ultimately, if she had to produce that milk, she has to first give birth to a baby. No matter what kind place, no matter what organic farm, no matter what home the cow is at, there will be an impregnation of the cow against her will, right? And then she gets pregnant. She has this beautiful, beautiful baby who she loves very much. If it's a male calf, the male calf is separated from the mother. In dairy farms, it's immediate because, it's a business. There is no use for a male calf in a dairy farm. So immediately the baby is separated. If it's at a family, if it's at a home, then yeah, they may give them a few days together, but ultimately the family cannot take care of the male calf. So for the most part, it's very, very rare if the calf is actually staying back home with the family. So calf is separated and the baby's milk is taken from the cow, and she's standing there and she's not happy, right? Again, if it's a dairy farm, then they use machinery to get the milk out of her, and she's very uncomfortable and in so much pain. And that milk is taken, that milk is processed and then sent across, and then it travels through, and then finally it's come to your home or to whichever kitchen where you're eating, and then it's getting boiled, and then it is brought to you. Compare the energy of that to the energy of the coconut milk. And would you even feel like drinking a sip of the milk after you thought of this whole thing? And I missed a bunch of the other processes in the middle when it comes to the dairy, because there are a lot of additives and stuff added to it too. But even if it's a very simple, just milk from a cow versus milk from a coconut, feel the difference in the energy between the two. When you think, okay, where did this come from? And when you connect to the food for a moment, and when you feel the food's energy, in that moment, you will know what choice to make. It'll be very, very easy. Normally, what we do is we look at something, we smell something, and then it's like, oh, I've got, my mouth is watering, I feel like having it. And without thinking, we just jump and have it. Instead, all you have to do is take a few moments to connect with the food, and you will not have it. You will automatically, slowly start making conscious, better and better and better choices. And then the beauty of making this conscious choice, every single time, instead of succumbing to cultural conditionings or your taste buds, you are taking back your power. You're taking back your own power to actually make a choice. And especially in this very, very important aspect of your life, which is food, which is so, so important, right? Every single day, you're putting this energy into you. When you take your power back at that very basic level, what happens is you will go on to this path of taking your power back in many other levels also. That is automatically going to happen. And of course, your energy is always already having chosen not to have things that come from suffering, things that come from exploitation. Your energy level is already higher up. So again, it gives you an added boost on this beautiful journey you are on a journey of spirituality, meditation, spreading love, spreading positivity. It gives you that additional boost. Anything that you do when you want to make a choice, whether it is food, whether it is deciding something very big in your life, maybe choosing your life partner, maybe choosing your career, whatever it is, always spend some time not thinking, okay, not analyzing, because we tend to analyze a lot. We tend to compare a lot, like, okay, if I do this, this is what will happen. If I do this, this is what will happen. Instead, spend some time just sitting down and asking for universe's guidance. Just ask your higher self, your angel, the universe, the spirit, whatever it is. There is a lot of this beautiful energy and power inside you, within yourself, which is always guiding you on the right path, always guiding you on the highest good, the path that is of the highest good. It's just that often we just don't want to listen to it. That's it. We don't make the time to sit and listen to it. But if you make this into a daily habit, just sitting, asking for guidance and just letting them guide you, letting the higher self, the higher energies guide you. When you do that, then it's going to be very easy. It's going to be a no brainer to make conscious choices every single step of the way, no matter what you do. Sometimes it'll be a test. There have been situations where, inside, my higher self has told me that I should do this. I should make this conscious choice. I should make this decision. But outer conditionings have made me second guess myself. Like, no, but that doesn't seem right according to societal norms. That doesn't seem, right according to whatever I have grown up believing and learning. Over time, the more you trust your inner voice over these doubts created in your brain, the more you do that, again, the easier it's going to be to tune into that energy, to tune into that voice that tells you what to do, what not to do. I run a podcast called The Feel Good Factor. So it's all about finding joy, happiness, doing things that make you feel good. And one of the people I have interviewed on the podcast is my friend Susmitha, who is she's a healer. She's also into spirituality. She's a vegan herself. So she was talking about decisions, something beautiful she said about decisions, or something rather very simple she said about it. How do you know when you think that you have to do something and you hear this voice and you need to make that choice? How do you know whether it is your mind telling you what to do, your human physical earth level brain that is telling you what to do, versus a higher energy or your higher self and universal source telling you what to do? And she said something so simple. She said, a good way to judge the difference between the two is when you feel like doing something by the message of the universe, you will just want to do it. But when you do something which your mind is telling you, which may not be for the highest good, then you will feel the need to justify it. You need to give a reason as to why you're doing this. You need to, it comes from this place of awareness, but also maybe some kind of a guilt to make you feel like, yes, this is the right decision because this. But when it is a truly conscious choice, you just know, that's it. You just feel like this is the right thing to do. When that feeling happens, jump on it, do it. That kind of a conscious choice is what led me today to be on my path of being vegan, to be on my path of spirituality, because I listened to I resisted it for the longest time, but finally when I decided to listen to it, I needed every excuse to not go vegan. But when I finally decided to go vegan, it was like, yeah, it was just right and it made sense. So it's a great way to detect how to, detect your connection, how to choose and how to make that conscious choice that is good for you. So this is pretty much my journey. This is just my personal experience, and it feels nice to be able to share it with all of you, and maybe it will inspire you to make more conscious choices throughout your life. And right now it is a time, the energy is that we need to contemplate, we need to think about what it is we're doing, and we need to choose everything from a place of love on how can we, whatever we do, whatever we decide, whatever we share, how is it serving the world, how is it serving the higher good, how is it serving love? And making decisions from that place is going to help all of us together to move forward and make this a much more beautiful, happier, better world.